Hey everyone, T2rx6 here. I am back for another Transformers review. Today I'm actually going to do a little bit of a box opening, a mini haul, as well as a small review. Some of you know I haven't posted for a few weeks now. I actually had one of those darn spring colds that you tend to get and they just never go away and it feels like you've been hit in the face with a brick. But I'm over that now, so here I am and we can get started on this. I ended up coming home from work today and had my package from BBTS, and stuff that I've actually had on my pile of loot for ages now, since the Headrobot Defender came out, so I was expecting it to come in today because I told them to finally ship it. What I was actually waiting for is going to be inside here. It was Alternity Starscream, but after seeing those bug eyes, I immediately canceled that pre-order. And the morning of them previewing Skywarp, switched over to Skywarp, and I was lucky too because that was the day that it actually came in stock. So, of course, I've got the Alternity Skywarp here. Sorry, that's out of camera. Probably too complicated for me to be opening up today, opening the box and reviewing for you. The next thing, like I said, I've had this pile of loot waiting since the Headrobot Defender, so I'm glad to see him finally here. He's going to be fun to play around with. The last thing that's in this box I actually threw on while I was still waiting for the Alternity guys to appear, and that's where we're going to get into the mini haul. One of the things that has been, putting me into debt lately has been the fact that I watched the Japanese Headmasters TV show, and ever since I've been, really wanting to track down every single Headmaster I could. And I've been doing pretty good, but my wallet sadly has not been because of it. I had a couple Headmasters when I was little. Actually only one. I did have Hosehead when I was little. But he's from the Master Force show, and fortunately I watched that show and that one didn't stick with me so much, and Victory is not doing anything for me. I think my wallet will be safe in terms of those toys. But I did end up tracking down a Chrome Dome. He's missing a gun, but I'm going to get the Repro one and save myself like $40. A Brainstorm. A Highbrow. And, of course, the very last thing that I picked up recently has been a Scorponok. He's missing a leg, armor there, and a couple other pieces, but overall the price was really good, and I can piece the rest together in time. So because I started getting in that Headmasters kick, I decided the one thing that really kind of was impressive was the Headrobot, I guess it's kind of upside down, the Headrobot Headmaster. It's weird because the packaging is upside down. That's what it is. It should be this way, but you can see they put it in backwards. So that's what I'm going to be taking a look at today in a little mini review, and we'll see how this head looks on various Headmasters here. I don't think I mentioned I got Ape Face too. I've opened up the package here. It's small, as you can imagine. It's Headmaster size. If we were to take Highbrow here in comparison, you're looking at roughly the same size head. So considering that these guys go for 40 bucks on eBay, spending 20 on this isn't too bad. So looking at the toy itself, he is some form of a tank. I'm not sure how well you're going to see that here. The head pops up here to give that serpent look. Not a big fan of the colors. It kind of looks like it's unfinished to me. I know they do provide a number of different heads that look just better colors than this. The yellow on the eye portion of the head here really kind of blends in with the unpainted white. So I think that's definitely something that's going to have to be fixed. I have to get the phone. I'll get back to you. Alright, I'm back. And while I was on the phone, I was playing around with this guy, and I kind of showed you him like this. and I realized when I flipped him over that he's got a tail. So I flipped that out, and obviously, well, that just looks a little bit inappropriate there if I were to call that the snake mode. Turns out that he flips out that way, and we flip the head this way, which looks a whole heck of a lot more like the serpent head now. But anyway, getting back to it, the colors here, I just feel like they look a little bit unfinished. The quality feels pretty strong. This kind of is a little bit loose feeling, but I don't think it's really gonna hurt. It is pretty cool. I do kind of like the robot mode of the old Headmasters versus this beast mode, beast tank mode, but it's still pretty cool and it was certainly worth the purchase. If nothing more than for me to take some paint to it myself and make it look different. Transforming it back, obviously we flip the head back, we flip the front in, pull it down, and now we're back to a head mode. They say it'll fit on any transformer, so since we've already taken Highbrow here apart, let's give it a try. And it plugs in really nice, actually. I can't complain about that. And he does indeed have his own stats compared to Highbrow. I'll take him and plug him in real quick just to show you. Stat change there may not be so obvious because Highbrow is pretty, standard, straightforward. Again, chrome done. And you can see there's a difference there. So far, I guess it looks better with chrome dome just because of the coloring on his arms. But we'll go through them all that I have, and you guys can be the judge here. And maybe later on I'll do a follow-up video when I've repainted him and thrown him on some other body that doesn't belong to him. So, Brainstorm. Still looks okay with Brainstorm. Actually, with the flared out wings and stuff, it kind of matches the flared out head, so it's kind of cool. He actually kind of reminds me a little bit of a drone type figure, perhaps. Ape face. Took a little bit to fit him in, but fits in there too, of course. It turned out it worked, is that, of course, the stats here are fixed. There's no, anything you plug in there is going to give the same stats, but he still will plug into there. He doesn't quite push the button down as far as Ho's head would, so it doesn't really register his stats. On a side note here, I did find it really interesting that when they created the Headmasters for the Headmaster Juniors, they still gave it the same slotting. So if we were to take our Headmaster Junior, and you can still get his head in there, he actually has tech specs that match what his card said. So how they shaped his plates there actually registers the right numbers on any of the chests too, so that was a kind of cool little thing. I guess the final one that I have to test this head on, of course, is going to be Scorponok, who already shares that very cream colored face. So, if you have the spare Scorponok and you don't have a head, this may be a viable $20 alternative for you. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Headmaster for Scorponok because I can't really tell where his eyes are. But, visor up, I suppose. It actually looks pretty good on there. I have seen on TFW someone who got one of the blue heads and they painted the Scorponok body blue, and that looked really cool together. I think this may be one of the more viable head replacements here. I'll just kind of compare you with Scorponok's head Zarek. You can see, the coloring is pretty similar. I might still paint this to bring out the eyes, which brings me to the question: are these red parts his eyes, or is it the recessed part that's formed on the plate? But if you have a Scorponok, You look really close. Let's see if it'll focus on that. Yeah, you can see it back there if you can pardon my unsteady hand. He does have like a molded rear eye there, so which part is actually the eye? Here we are. I put him right back into his little snake tank mode thing. And yeah, that's the Headrobot Cobra head.